What's going on, guys? Steel here. We're outside again. I'll probably do more outside videos because it's so nice out, it's hard for me to I don't want to be outside. So, taking a look at the Mora Robust today. Great knife. I've had these, I've had two of them. I got two of them at a time because they were like $12 and shipping was like $3 or $4. Figured for the price of shipping, I might as well get more than one. After using it though and stuff, I'm convinced that Mora along with Opinel are two knife companies that everybody should at least try at some point. They're very basic and simplistic. That's part of the enjoyment of them. And you also have the added benefit of, you know, knives that are not difficult to want to test something on, modify. Like the Opinel that I have, I'm thinking about taking the time to try and zero grind it again to flat on a stone. It'll take a while. I don't have a belt sander and stuff, but you know, I'm only $12 into it, so not a big deal. But this is the Mora Robust. I have not had Moras previous to this, so I don't know if this is pretty average thickness. It's probably a little over an 1/8 inch thick, I would say. They do have these nice satin, they almost look like hand rubbed finishes. Maybe real quick ones, but still. You can see it's real shiny. Very nicely finished for the price point they're at. The handles are a type of rubber. The gray part is, the black is hard plastic. I thought an interesting note is that they did taper the plastic here towards the front of the handle, kind of for grabbing up close when you want to power cut with a hammer grip. So they didn't just leave that rounded and uncomfortable to choke up on the knife. The ergonomics, interesting. They tend to push the handle forward and at a slight negative angle for me when grasped. It's very secure grip, but it gives me at the same time the sensation that it's pushing my hands forward, almost like if the guard wasn't there, I'd be very uncomfortable, because these are extremely easy to get sharp. Like I said, I got two of them. One was actually a gift from my brother, and the other is mine. The other one that I have, I kept at Scandi ground. This one I put a tiny micro bevel on, and they come obviously with it's got a micro bevel on it sharpened at 30 degrees, and you can't even see it. That's how, well, you can catch it a little right there. It's super faint, because it just goes to 0. You know, you have your flat, then your primary grind. The one thing I did notice, just because probably the grinding is a tad cheaper, this isn't a dig, it's just something I noticed, is that I think on both the knives the bellies aren't like perfectly swept. You can kind of see almost where it's like steps. I don't know if it's really noticeable. Yeah, kind of right there. I think you can catch it somehow. It looks like it is a ground, then they like stopped and then ground up again. Just an interesting note. Doesn't affect the performance so far. They're super easy to get sharp. 1095 too, I believe, if the specs that I read were correct. So yeah, interesting knife. I like it so far, just the testing. I can see the advantages it has in the wood. Sheath is just plastic, nothing special, but really well secured. Drain hole, can do a one-handed pop. So I'll do some videos. I have some wood that I cut the other day. I figured for the heck of it I'd try batoning. I know some people that's a cardinal sin. Other people want to know if the knife can do it. I don't really care either way. I don't know how necessary it is even in survival situations. The only reason I say that is because back before we had steel, primitive man had flint knives, axes. They may have done some splitting with the axes, but even then the flint would be incredibly brittle, so I don't see them doing, I don't know. It would be interesting to see what it would have been like back then. Anyway guys, long rambly video. Thanks for watching, and everybody who's continued to support me. I did break 1,000 subscribers, which means I'll be doing a giveaway here in the future. I'll probably try and do a really good one. So stay tuned. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.